Nein, kann man immer noch löschen.
Die haben da was reingemacht. Das holen die sich jetzt raus.
Ja.
On enjoying normal programs to take place at the 11 o'clock Vancouver show. Those will take place in the Vancouver Habitat, which is just behind you there.
You can't believe it already. Good. Al had the last word, thank you.
Honey, you go right on it.
Uh-oh. Action here. Turtle.
哦，现在你看的最清楚，因为你看的最清楚。
Eating machine. Yeah, they're very jealous. This shark, mine was eating machines. Or shovel angel fish is too fast.
How's over there?
Yeah, I tried to get a picture.
See the big turtle right there's the big
What's his name? Yeah, on hippie. Yeah, the hippie turtles on the tiny little. Everyone must stop filming
Bluefish down there. I've never seen bluefish. They're having them now. It's dead. No, it's not dead. Look at the shark. There's the school of herring she was talking about. 3,000 herring.
Look at that big skull over there.
That's what the belugas, the sea lions.
Honor.
Look at this guy. Where's the shark?
That looks like a catfish.
Okay, come on.
I follow my finger. Oh, cool. Feel the starfish at the bottom? What the black? Starfish. Look at the starfish. She's such a great hair.
It is. It's a fun place car.
Easy, going in circles. Chase me and stand sign.
I know, it's hilarious.
Let's go see the dolphins. My favorite.
They will have a show in the
Often in the winter, the creatures
Whale show at here. But I've already seen the whale show.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Vancouver Aquarium. My name is Mark. Standing in front of our beluga whale exhibit, giving you all a wave. Just want to let you know that we are now 9 short minutes away from starting our 11 a.m. beluga training session. At least one person's excited. That's fabulous. We're all excited. All right, we're all excited. Fabulous. It is Sunday.
Was sind das?
So eine Beluga-Wale oder sowas. Ich bin der Meinung, dass das Belugas sind.
Und nun taucht er ab.
Experience for these whales, but the reason number 2 why I want to show you this behavior is because I want you to see what the trainer does, how they ask the whale to do this behavior. At this point in time, they are to bob out of the water, touch the trainer's hand. Perfect. You can see they all perform that behavior to perfection. Now, as soon as the whale touched the hand of the trainer, each of them blew their whistle. Now, this whistle was to tell the whale that they have done the behavior correctly and that they can now return to their trainer for what we call positive reinforcement. What is positive reinforcement? Well, it's some kind of reward for doing a good job. So this can come in many different forms for a beluga whale. Obviously it comes in the form of food, but these are very tactile animals as well. And it can also come in the form of a forehead rub or maybe something like a tongue massage. I know I love a good tongue massage first thing in the morning. Certainly these whales do as well, and that is a really good way of doing positive reinforcement. They will then learn that if every time they see that hand signal and they do that behavior and hear their whistle, they're going to receive something very, very similar. So that is indeed how it works. It starts off with a visual cue, some kind of a hand signal, then it moves on into the behavior, the whistle is blown, behavior's been done right, they come back, get positive reinforcement. What happens if the behavior is, and then the trainer can either ask for the same behavior or ask for something completely different. So that's a little bit about the training process. Very simple. The tools of the trade are not many, but they are very specific. You need to have, of course, something that's going to give some sort of a visual cue. This can come in the form of a hand or maybe some form of a target pole. Then of course you need your whistle. Of course you need your food bucket. Waterproof gear is always a good help as well, especially when you're working on behaviors that Paul is working on over there. She's getting herself really, really wet this morning. She's probably very, very cold. So at this point in time, I'm going to pass the microphone over to Neil over there on the island, and he's going to explain a different behavior that we're working on with EMAC here. This behavior is kind of started off with the high bob kind of idea, but it's moving into more of a breach. So Neil, I'll pass the microphone over to you.
Thanks, Mark. We'll give everyone a wave so you know who I'm speaking from. And then pass your attention to Katie and EMAC, who are working to everyone's right-hand side there. This morning they are working on a behavior called a breach. The breach behavior was EMAC goes down, and he'll pop up out of the water, and he should fall back out of the water, coming all the way up, and trying to get some height. When this behavior is finished, though, it will be a lot higher. He should be able to leave the water quite a distance, probably to his pectoral fins. He's got a belly button, it's harder for you to see, but that's the mark that we're using as a target. So it's a good reference point, so that consistently he should be coming out of the water that far. That was pretty good as well. He didn't go so much to his right, so Katie did blow her whistle, telling him that he's done a good job, and he goes back for some reinforcement there. So like you saw in that high bob behavior earlier, EMAC is trained to target on that target pole. It's kind of an extension of our hand. When our hand isn't able to reach, obviously Katie has a lot shorter arms than that target pole, and probably can't target EMAC that far out. So that target pole with the white thing on the end is what EMAC uses as a reference point, and you can see it was kind of tapped in the water there, which is pretty good because EMAC's able to follow it. It's kind of the same old stuff, just like that.
In the sense that you train any kind of animal. A lot of people tend to train dogs. You can train cats, birds, horses, even monkeys. Things like this are very, very smart. But you know, you can see that kind of stuff all over the world. But here, you know, we're very lucky to have these beluga whales because they come from a part of the world that is very, very extreme. They come from Arctic areas like Canada, Alaska, so part of the US, Russia, Greenland. You're not going to find them in the south, not near Antarctica or anything. These whales are only in the northern hemisphere. So to be able to bring these whales into a facility like this one is fantastic. We've had a wonderful opportunity to work with these whales, but why? I would like to break it down to 3 simple reasons. Reason number 1, exercise. Same with any animal. You're going to want to make sure that you're working different muscle groups within their bodies, and the behaviors that we ask these whales to do are certainly going to work the different muscle groups that they have all over their bodies. Not only is it a physical exercise, but it is number 2. So reason number 1, exercise. Reason number 2, medical care. And reason number 3 is, in my opinion, the most important. It is research, education, and conservation. Because this whale only comes from an extreme part of the world, it's very hard to do research on them. To get up to these extreme areas and to stay there for a long amount of time, it takes a lot of work and a lot of resources. But to be able to bring them down into a facility like this one, where we can take a look at them daily, we are constantly learning every single day about this species of whale, which is fabulous. And as soon as we have this knowledge, we immediately pass it on to our public so that everybody can be kind of united in this knowledge about this wonderful, beautiful creature. And then as soon as we all know about as much as we possibly
No, you did that, did
Practice
you?
because
No, we did that. We did that. Sue's next to the bottom. We did it again.
okay, so I'm going to pick up Helen, Spinnaker. You guys and Hannah. Same thing.
But it's cool. It's like $20 or
So
something.
coming up, a couple times you came up yesterday and did like
Yeah, that's the right.
Fabulous leaps like that can, of course, only come from a dolphin, so we know what species we're indeed looking at. But now in our research, we need to find out what kind of dolphin we're looking at. There are 34 different kinds of dolphins worldwide. 11 of them live off the coast of British Columbia. So to take a look at the coloration of these dolphins will hopefully give us a clue as to which kind we are looking at. Very good. So, what do we see? We got some dark backs, some white bellies. They got white stripes along the sides. I think we are indeed looking at a Pacific white-sided dolphin. Now, Pacific white-sided dolphin has a very strong range going from the northern coast of Mexico and going all the way up North America's coast over, also into the Asian Pacific side. They can be seen off the coast of Japan as well. This is a Pacific white-sided dolphin, of course, because they're extremely fast. They're very, very social, and they're very acrobatic animals, as we have got an opportunity to see here, and we will continue to get a great look at throughout the duration of this program. Excellent. Now, we are very lucky to be studying Pacific white-sided dolphins today. About 20 years ago, this was mostly an open ocean dolphin, but often researchers are going to look towards the individual markings on these dolphins to give them some clues as to which one they are indeed looking at. So I invite you now to use your camera like a researcher would to find the individual markings on these dolphins. Now you can see as they're all up on the dock like this that they each have a different shape, size, different color variations. These dolphins are all very individual in their own ways, but of course, it's not very often in the wild you're going to get an opportunity to see 4 dolphins up on a dock like that and see them full body. So most often in the research field, our scientists are going to look towards the parts of the body of the dolphin that do come out of the water most often. Of course, I am talking about their dorsal fins. You take a look at the dorsal fins of these dolphins and you can see that they are all very unique and individual. Laverne's kind of leans to one side. Spinnaker's is very, very light. Helen's has a good mixture, 50-50, of light and dark. It is quite large. And Hannah's is the smallest dorsal fin with a little mixture of dark and white as well. No 2 dorsal fins are alike, so very similar to the way that the police will take my thumbprint to keep track of where I am, researchers will take a look at the dorsal fins on these dolphins to figure out who they are. Sometimes you're not going to get a chance to see the dorsal fins though, so you can also look at their pectoral flippers, and these will give off good indications as to which dolphin is which. You can see their pectoral flippers there. And also, last but not least, their tail flukes will give off a very good indication as to which dolphin is which by different kind of scarring that they might have acquired on these parts of their bodies. Tail flukes do tend to be very similar in terms of coloration, but the different shapes and markings that you see on these parts of their bodies will certainly give some clue as to which dolphin is indeed which. Alright, so we figured out how to identify the species of dolphin and how to identify the individual. I want to take our research one step further and I want to find out where a Pacific white-sided dolphin fits within our ocean's food web. So who here thinks that dolphins are a predator? Okay, great. And who here thinks that dolphins are a prey item? Fabulous. You're actually both right. Pacific white-sided dolphins do serve as both predator and prey in our Pacific Ocean's food web. Let's look at them as a predator first. Inside their mouth, we have 100 to 120 cone-shaped teeth. These teeth are very sharp, but they are not used for chewing. These are grabbing teeth. They're going to swim through the water, find any kind of small schooling fish they can, like a herring or a capelin, grab onto that item, swallow it whole. Sometimes in the wild, though, these dolphins can eat out what we call marine debris. Essentially what that means is these dolphins, 3 of them within this habitat, have actually been entangled in discarded fishing nets. They have sustained injuries that prevent them from being released back into the wild. You can see that on Spinnaker's body where his pecs join up with his body. He actually has a lot of distinct scarring going on, as well as Helen has some very, very distinct scars that she can show on her pectoral flippers. These animals were brought into rehabilitation centers where they were assessed as not being ready to go out into the wild, and now these dolphins...
Let's turn it down.